Good evening, everyone. As always, I am delighted and excited to be here with you. I am Halley Elise, and I am known as the Empowerment Psychic. And I know many of you tune in specifically for mediumship, which is kind of interesting because for as long as I can remember, I've said, no, 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 no. I don't want to talk to them. I can refer you. And, as soon as you say no to something, the universe goes, uh-uh. And that said, when I'm doing a reading occasionally, I do get those messages from the other side. Once in a blue moon, I see something. It's interesting to me though, because when I see something, it's not the typical silhouette. I sense that more if somebody is male or female. I see flashes of light. I see vapor. If you've ever watched one of those ghost movies or investigation shows, a lot of times they talk about ectoplasm, excuse me, and they talk about all sorts of things. I am privy to some of that once in a while, which is kind of fascinating. And yet I still say, no, 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 no. I don't need to speak to the deceased. However, if there's a specific question that you have, I can usually get quiet for a moment and tap in for you. So just keep that in mind. Now, I'd love to tell you what I'm up to these days. I've started writing again. You may not know, I have two books out. One is with a partner, a compilation of exercises and information that helps you with meditation and getting centered. That one is called Treasures Within Meditation with a Friend. And I did that way back when in 2001 it was published. If you'd like to get a copy, you can, of course, look on Amazon. Again, it's Treasures Within Meditation with a Friend. Then I am a part of a compilation series, which is called Thank God I'm in Volume 2. And that's an interesting one because so much of our practitioners today that deal with spirituality or philosophy talk about accepting the bad with the good. And for many of us, that's very difficult, especially when you're dealing with strife. The series, though, Thank God I, helps you understand better what's meant by that. Loss does not have to be solely loss. Difficulties do not have to be just difficult. And illness might surprise you. I share illness specifically because back in 2005, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease, different from non-Hodgkin's. That seems to be more more that, oh my goodness, I just lost words. I would say more popular, but that sounds terrible when talking about cancer, right? And yet I will say more notable. I think that might be better. Non-Hodgkin's is more notable. Hodgkin's, however, is a bit different. And the irony of it all is that for 2.5 years, I went to doctors saying, there's something wrong, something wrong. Now, when you're speaking to a doctor and your profession is a professional psychic, they tend to dismiss you. I went through 2.5 years, as I said, of doctors pretty much telling me that I didn't know what I was talking about or my blood work was fine. There's no markers, by the way, for Hodgkin's. Lots of other symptoms, though. The reason I share this is I knew something was wrong. And I share it because I want you to know to listen to yourself. Even if you've never felt that you were psychic, never felt that you had an intuitive moment, if something feels off, check it out. You know you better than anyone else. Be sure to pay attention to those nudges, those inklings, those odd senses that come up because there is an abundance of information there. And even if it's something bad, you'll learn something from it. If you get a chance, take a look at Thank God I, Volume 2. By the way, it was co-written with Dr. Bernie Siegel and some other really wonderful folks. Okay, that said, we have, was it Loretta on the phone from the US? And I think I caught Ohio. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Eyes are still working. There are days that I wonder, how are you this evening?
Uh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
That's
Did you have a
awesome.
sp Thank you. Did you have a specific question you wanted to address this evening, or did you just wanna get a feel of things? What's your intention for tonight?
I would like to ask a question, or
All right.
I have a. Um, I am with somebody right now, or working on being with somebody right now. Been seeing
Mhm.
each other for a couple months, and I'm just not sure where it's going, if it's going.
Okay. I
I
get a
know
very much.
all psychics get those questions, and I haven't asked those questions in over 7 years because I haven't dated in 7 years. And
It's okay, though. I mean, you want some insight, and that's why you're calling, and I'm good with that. I get a very precarious feeling with this person. On one hand, I feel as if they are so content being in your company, at ease. It just feels right. And yet I keep getting this feeling of ambiguousness, as if they don't know if they want to get involved again. I feel like there is a previous relationship that's kind of lingering in the background that has created discontentment. I don't know if they've shared with you about their previous relationship, but I just feel as if it still weighs on them. And
uh-huh.
that inhibits their ability to make a commitment now. And yet, again, I get this feeling that they're happy in your company. What I would suggest, if you're open to it, is give it another 3 months. Put it out there that you enjoy their company and you'd really like to see this move forward, but you're not pushing. Put it out in a very gentle way, but give it another 3 months, because I feel like they're not going to want to leave you. I feel as if they really, again, are content, and it's like you're home to them. I know that sounds like a funny thing to say about a person. However, it feels to me as if you're home, as if when they are in your space, when they are with you, there is just this lovely sense of being at ease. And I feel
Kind of
like
like a safe haven.
yes, yes, exactly. And it's interesting because I feel that you kind of get the same sense. There's this lack of pressure involved with being in their company.
Hmm.
Hang out a little
Absolutely.
bit, because I,
Pardon me.
I do I do get that their heart is moving closer and closer to you. I just get them, I don't want to say dealing with the past, but more a matter of comparing. Actually, that's probably the best way for me to explain this. They are not comparing you, but comparing their feelings and not wanting to end up in a similar situation. And yet they know intellectually that's not going to happen with you because you're not that person. Really,
Absolutely.
really and truly, just hang in there a bit longer. The other thing, too, is do some more for you. And when I say that, I mean do some fun stuff, playful stuff that has nothing to do with them, just so that you are nurturing your own soul while they're figuring things out and while you're still enjoying their company. If, for instance, you're like me and good music comes on, you can pull over in a parking lot and get out and start dancing. Even if it's in the middle of a parking lot. My poor daughter, she used to do one of these things and try to sink down into the car seat, and I would do that. But what I'm saying here is you don't have to do that specifically. However, think of fun and funny, lighthearted. Think about
Right,
just being
right.
yourself. Because what I keep coming to, and I'm trying to articulate this in a better fashion, but the overall impression here is you can be so much fun. I feel that when people really know you, they're like, "Oh my god, you're a blast." You don't seem you seem more reserved on the outside if somebody doesn't know you, but when they get to know you, oh my, it's party time.
Mhm. I'm very reserved, like you said, until I do get to know you. You're right. You're very correct on that one. I guess
Okay.
what I was just wondering is, don't want to like waste time, but
I
that's.
don't
I guess I kind of wanted a more of a solid yes or no.
yeah, I don't get wasting time. I just feel as if you need more time. And in
Okay.
today's world, when you meet somebody that you genuinely like and are enjoying, just my opinion, but I think it's worthwhile giving it a little bit more time for you to enjoy. All right, my
Right.
friend.
Right.
I thank you for
I
calling.
agree. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just saying thank you so much for calling in tonight.
Oh well, thank you.
My pleasure. Have a great night.
Thanks. You too.
Bye bye. We have Kirsty on the line, I believe.
Yes,
Hello. Okay. Did I say your name correct?
yes, yes.
Okay. Good. I'm a stickler about that. Did you have a particular area of focus this evening?
Not really. I'm just looking for, yeah, just to see what, you know, they're wanting
Okay.
to say to me if there's anyone there.
Okay. I will tell you right off the bat, I feel like you're in a period of time that it feels, if you were to look back 5 years ago and ask yourself if you would be in the position that you're in this moment, you would have never thought that. It feels to me as if a lot in your world just feels upside down. Not that it's horrible, not that you can't handle it. It's just not creating those warm, fuzzy feelings in your heart. I will tell you
Yes,
that we are, what are we in? We're in June? No, we're August, right? Yes, we're in August. Okay, so September, October, November, December, January, February. So what I'm getting here is between now and February, I feel as if everything is going to turn. First, you'll see it in finances, where all of a sudden there's more money coming in. You're like, oh, this is nice. Then you'll see it with family relations. I feel like there's a little sticky point there, and that's going to shift for you. Then you're going to see it in anything having to do with joy, meaning things popping up, invitations, actually people saying, hey, come here, let's go there, where I don't feel like you've had that much of that in quite a while. As to relationship, romance, there is something coming again, but it's not, let's say, tomorrow. It's between now and next year. If you can have patience, though, I feel as if your heart is just going to be overjoyed with the person that comes into your life. By the same token, I keep getting that you have a couple of people around you that have an interest that you're going to like, eh. And I shouldn't say "and" like that, but sometimes we really feel connected to people, and other times it's like, they're nice, but there's not really that connection. Have you noticed these two individuals?
so I'm married, and we're going through, yeah, just a really bad spot. Um, yeah, there's just been the lack of that connection there for a long time. I question everything, and yeah, we're currently living at my parents' house due to a rental crisis, and there's just so much going on at the moment um,
Upside down.
that I'm really struggling.
Yeah. So with see, it's really all right. I'm going to be careful saying this because I don't want anybody upset, but I will just. There's no other way for me to say this other than straight out. The relationship with your spouse has been strained to a point where, unless there's a lot of work put in, then I see the relationship separating. Not immediately,
Yes.
but I feel as if there is that. almost like you can't breathe sometimes feeling. And I actually get that with him as well. But as I mentioned
Yeah.
before, and I still feel that you're in a cycle here, that by February of next year, and it could be as soon as, let's say, December, but I kind of lean more towards no later than February, you will see some major changes. And again, things will shift in a way that you can breathe again. I feel though you will have to decide if you want to stay or if you want to go by that point, because I keep getting two people around you. And I feel as if they are separate from your spouse. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have an admirer who sees you every time you go to the grocery store or an old love that comes out of the woodworks. But I just keep getting like two people around you. On a good note, you do have more sweetness coming in. But with this relationship, you have to decide, do you want to work at it? And I know that sounds really tough because it feels like you have so much going on right now that seems to be out of your control. And you're just kind of saying, I'm going to just go with the flow. I'm just going to do what I need to do. I'm just going to, versus creating what you want. And when I say that, obviously you can't take a magic wand and go bippity bippity boop and have everything the way you like. However,
Yeah.
here in your mind, you can start daydreaming about when things were really sweet. You can daydream about what would it look like now if everything just became the way that you wanted it to be. And I know some people would say, oh, well, that's kind of silly because that's not reality. And yet, truly, I find that we create our reality, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally. The situation
Yeah.
that you're in was unintentional. And yet,
Mhm.
to expedite change, you have to be intentional. And even living, I think you said your in-laws living in their house. And I said, before you mentioned that, as far as, like familial relations changing, it's not easy being in the position that you're in. It's that sense of just saying, okay, okay, uh-huh, just kind of having to comply.
Mm.
And circle back for just a moment. Think in terms of really, truly taking a few minutes a day to focus on how would it feel if, fill in that blank. And when it comes to your husband, I'm going to suggest, because I love doing writing to get clarity, take a moment, whether it's in your car, at the library, down the street, where you have just you and you don't have anybody else around, write down what it was that you fell in love with, what it was that made him be the one that you said yes to. Carry that with you. And when you feel like you're not communicating and you feel like there's so much strife, take it out for a moment. If you need to rent a ladies' room and take it out and just look at that. Get into that feeling, get into that sense of it's good. Because even when it's not feeling right, even when it's not feeling good, it serves a purpose. But for you to be more clear, you have to see some sort of change taking place. You are a very strong lady and you don't just sit idly by usually. This whole
No,
situation, oh my,
I'm
it's
um,
not,
energetic, and at the moment I've got a chest infection. I'm a bit run down, but I got right into. I've always sort of had a bit of a gift myself, and then due to sort of being shut down, I opened right back up again. I did some training on my mediumship, and then at the moment I'm just so closed off and lost.
well, if you want to tap into your mediumship, every chance you get, go outside and find a tree that you like and literally connect with the tree. Put your hands on the tree, put your forehead on the tree, and ask the tree to allow energy that is unneeded to move through you and out through your feet into the earth for Mother Nature to transmute it. Let the tree help you get grounded. Use the tree's energy because think about it, the tree lives in both worlds. Its boughs and leaves are above and its roots are below. Kind of like us, our energy can be rooted in the earth as well as connected to the divine. However, your your situations are creating stagnation. I was going to say a block, but that's really not it. It's more stagnation for your gifts.
Yeah.
They are there,
Yeah.
but
I
you
know.
need to shift for yourself. Trying to be inside of somebody else's home and getting grounded, it's a little tough. Go outside, really and
Yeah.
truly. Any chance you get. And again, connect with a tree. Just remember to say thank you because it's an exchange of energy.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
my heart tells me that no matter how clear you get with the situation with your spouse, things will change here for you. And it's not that far down the road, though it is overall after the new year. And as far as residence wise, even with that, ask yourself when you get quiet, when you get grounded, what is what is it that I need to see about this? Or what is it that I need to know about this? Allow your loved ones that aren't here to help guide you. It will speed up your process. This making sense, I hope.
Very. Yes, a lot of sense. Because, yeah, we just thought we're moving here and we're going to buy a house, and then it's sort of not gone like that. But I've ended up on a complete different path, and I'm studying nursing, and the house we wanted hasn't really gone to plan. Yeah, just so many things that just happened that I wasn't expecting, and yeah.
No, you weren't prepared for this shakeup. I mean, that's what it comes down to. However, if you allow it to keep running you, then it continues to run you. And I know it's easy for me to say, standing on the other side here. However, I know in my heart of hearts, again, you're a strong individual. When you really put your mind to something, things change. But it has to be done
Yes.
gently. This is not a situation where you can be like a bull in a china shop.
Yes. Yeah, taking my
Yeah.
time and just being a bit more patient. Yeah.
Exactly. But truly, do some of what we're talking about with the tree, with getting clear, with recognizing those aspects about your husband that first drew you to him, because that will help you shift your personal energy. And when we shift our energy, the energy around us shifts as well.
Yeah.
And as far as your
Yeah,
your
it's been
medium,
13 years,
I'm sorry, say
and
that again.
just, yeah, 13, it's been 13 years, and, we're both tired, and I'm aware of that. I'm understanding in that, but it's just more, there's a huge barrier with communication, and just, I'm a very out there, open,
Yes.
honest person. I like to talk about my feelings, whereas he's very, very, due to, childhood traumas, whatever, blocked off. But he just doesn't want to face nothing. So when you talk about anything, it's just stonewall.
As I said, honey, you probably will have to make a decision here, not that long down the road. But in the interim, if you can focus on the connection, it will start to
Yep.
open him up a little bit. And then you can see from there where you want to go versus where you are now. Because where you are now is in discomfort, and it's not the right time to make any sort of major change. Even though all you want is major change, it's a bit of a contradiction.
Yes. Yeah.
The
No,
other
thank
thing
you
is,
so much.
before you run, I hear the name Shirley. I don't know if you know her, Shirley, yet, but I get Shirley being a helpful, positive influence, whether she's in this life or beyond. So just kind of keep it in the back of your mind. If you don't know who she is, get quiet when you're outside and ask, who is Shirley? All right, my friend?
Thank you so much for everything.
My pleasure. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. The things that we were talking about often apply to all of us. Actually apply to all of us all the time. We're just not always aware. It's interesting when we think God's not listening or the universe is not conspiring for us. Things just couldn't be this bad or uncomfortable if we were being looked after and protected and guided. However, the truth of the matter is we are a part of the creation in our life. And I know you keep hearing me say the word create and creation, but it's true. It is that vibration that we put out into the universe. It is that mental frequency and energetic frequency that transmutes time. It transmutes space. You have the ability to connect with what you want, though you can't do it if you're in the midst of discomfort. Allow yourself some peace, even if it's for a few moments, and focus on things that make you smile. I'd love to spend some time with you individually. If you're local, feel free to reach out to the office for an appointment or give me a text or a call if you'd like to schedule something on the phone. My number is 561-755-2166.